I've got an eyesore in the front of my house, and it's my garbage can. I've got an inexpensive idea, and it happens to use pallets. What I'm going to do is get them squared up, and I want to make sure that they're just wide enough for the garbage can to go in and out. The next step is I got to cut some railings, actually. These can be made out of 2x3s or 2x4s. I'm going to measure about 7.5 inches down from the top. It doesn't take a lot of screws because not a lot of weight's going to go on there. Then I'm going to grab my reciprocal saw, and I'm going to cut the less desirable pallet that's going to go on top. And then I'm going to secure it with some screws. Once I got that, I want to go ahead and trim out the opening. I grabbed some old fence pallets that I had that were redwood, and I'm going to go ahead and just brad nail these on the top. Now, it doesn't take a lot of nails to hold this in place because it doesn't weigh very much. Once I get this on, I am going to go ahead and do the same on the sides. That way it looks more like a little bit of a door frame or anything when I put it on. Then I can slide my garbage can in. Now, I want to decorate it. There's many options you can do. You can put some vines on the top, around the sides, hang some pictures or anything like that. But I think it turned out really nice. Gets rid of that eyesore just having the garbage can out front. I hope this motivated you to build your own inexpensive trash can enclosure. I finally got that hot tub that I've always wanted in the back porch, but neighbors are kind of close. First thing I'm going to do is get this free pallet I got, and it actually is in really good shape, but I've got to remove all the nails to use the boards. So I'm going to use my crowbar and my hammer, and I'm going to go through and very carefully loosen some of the boards, but you can't do the whole thing all at once. You got to work your way up and down and go back and forth to loosen the nails. Don't try to pull it all off at one time. You'll crack the boards. The reason I want to use this is as a free pallet, it's going to save me a lot of money on all the boards. Once you work your way up and down, look at that. It comes right out and it's easy to use. But we got to get rid of those nails. So all you got to do is turn it over. Go ahead and tap those nails on one side. Throw it back over the other side. Use the claw on your hammer. You can pull it apart or just use your hands and they'll pop right out. Now you've got a ton of boards you can use. Next step is to use 1¼ inch PVC pipe. We're going to cut 4 pieces at 12 inches long. This is going to be the base of our privacy screen. I'm using a PVC cutter here because it gives it a nice clean cut edge. You can use a hacksaw if you need to. Now the next step is to get a T. As you can see, 2 ends are 1¼ and the top is actually 1 inch. So take 2 of your 12-inch pieces and you're going to place that on each side of your base. This is going to give you a base of 24 inches. Next step we got to do is once we get the 2 legs together, we're going to paint them black. Now I'm going to take the 1-inch sides that are 4 feet long, and I'm going to use those with a spacer so each board is separated the same distance. You can lay them out and eyeball them this way if you want, or you can take a straight board and use that as a guide on getting all the slats straight. Once I do that and put them all in there, I'm going to take a 1¼ inch drywall screw and just drive it through the wood. And I'm going to use the same holes that I used pulling the nails out. That way we're not putting extra holes in there. As you can see, I can take the PVC pipe and bring it off the edge. It doesn't need to go all the way on the side. This one on the other side, it's already straight, ready to go. Just put it underneath. And again, you're going to pop those screws right in. Now you're going to take that base and you're going to put it on each end of your privacy screen. Now you can glue it, but I'm just going to go pop it on and it holds up really nice. The next step and the last step is to put some hooks on because I've got a great idea for it. It can hold up the towels too. So not only do I got a privacy screen, but I've got someplace to let my towels air out and dry. I hope this inspired you to build your own PVC pallet privacy screen. I got some free pallets that I picked up, so it's time to put them to work and make some magic. First thing I want to do is get them all cleaned off from the cobwebs. Next, I'm going to mark a line on both sides, and I need to cut it in half. What I got is 2 pallets. One's going to be cut in half for the sides, the other pallet's going to be the front. Once I get it cut in half, then it's time to cut off some of the side pieces so I can join them together. Once these are all cut, it's time to prime them. I'm going to go ahead and prime because I don't want any paint that gets on there to flake away. And a lot of this pallet wood is rough. So the more primer we get on, the better. And that allows the paint to stick. Once I get it all primed up and looking good, and I used only 1 coat, it's time to join the sides together. I used 2.5-inch screws to put them together, and I put it up and down each one of the sides to make it super strong. I first joined one side, and then I went ahead and did the other side. Once I got those together, I turned it over so I can cut out a little area like a little window, and I'll show you later what I'm going to use this for. Once I get those pieces cut, then it's time to make the braces for the countertop. I don't want it sitting just directly on there, so I put these braces on, and this is what I'm going to attach the countertop to. Once I got those braces on, it's time to paint. I went ahead and used an exterior paint, and I put it all over. A lot of the primer is being able to be seen through. That doesn't bother me because I want to have this like two-tone rough antique look to it. So I went ahead and put the paint all over, and actually only used 1 count of spray paint to do this. All of the top countertop cut with the miter saw, and I put it in place, but I didn't secure it yet because I want to be able to stain all the sides and all the edges before I adhere it to the braces. Once I got all those done and got it all stained together, I want to make sure that I used a towel and not a brush because I feel like I can really get it and penetrate it in and get it nice and smooth. Once it dries, then I can put the countertop together. And I went with some gaps in it because it looks really cool. It's not the biggest or widest countertop, but it's going to do the job. Then that little window that I cut earlier, I'm going to put some shelving in, again using the same wood that I used the countertop. And I'm going to put some side trim on to make it really pop out and stick out. I can't just stop with making this pallet bar. I've got to make some little knickknacks. So I took some scrap wood that I had made out of the same stuff I made the countertops, used some glue, some drill bits, and I put some dowels in, and I put them in to dry, and watch this. I got you a napkin holder. Next, what I'm going to do is take the same scrap wood, cut some pieces out, stain these pieces, put them together, adhere it to the side of the bar, and look at this. Now I've got a towel holder using the same size dowel that I used earlier on the napkin holder, and it works great. And now it's time to start putting just all these things together. Using, again, some of the same wood from the countertop, I wanted to have a bottle cap opener, and it doesn't work without having a little bucket at the end to catch the caps. Put some hooks on, hang some towels, oven mitts, and just drill some holes. I'm going to put some sparkling cider through there, and I'm going to put my spices up there, little towels, and then I'm also going to hang some wine glasses, and I got this nice big bin that's going to hold all my favorite sodas. Put that in, and that's going to go right inside that window. And look at this, testing it out. That bottle cap opener works great. And look at this thing. It is all tricked out, looking good. It hangs all my utensils, all my beverages, and it just absolutely looks great. I am super impressed with this, and can you believe I did this from 2 pallets and a bunch of fur strips? I did this whole thing for less than $60. I hope this inspired you to not throw those pallets away, but use your imagination and come up with something grand. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.